Good morning, Shipbreaker. Please enjoy the following inspirational message. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you do, you will be successful.
All right, folks. Got a priority message coming in from corporate. Everyone put down what you're doing and have a listen.
Maybe they're gonna give us some holiday time. That'd be awesome.
That would be a first. Probably just another Pilsen kid getting a cushy exec job.
Hush up now, y'all.
This is an important message to all LYNX Salvage Division employees. It's come to our attention, thanks to a very loyal member of our family, that there has been talk about forming a Shipbreakers union. A union is a dangerous thing, where extensive fees are extracted for so-called representation of your workers' rights. At LYNX, our top priority is already your well-being. This is why union activity is strictly prohibited by your contract, for your own protection. To safeguard you and your work, we are immediately dispatching an administrator to every salvage sector. This administrator will oversee operations and ensure proper employee conduct. They are authorized to correct worker behavior by any means, and they'll remain in place until we can guarantee company-wide integrity. Until then, remember, the company is your family. The union is your enemy. Thank you.
No holiday. Told ya.
A union? I haven't heard anything about that. Have you?
Of course not.
Probably happening around the Martian districts. They always been quarrelsome.
You heard anything like that, Lou?
No. Hey, Weaver, do you know when our administrator's showing up?
Week, maybe? Coming all the way from HQ at Jupiter Gate. When they get here, we'll need to be on our best behavior.
Oh, great.
Nothing to fret about, all right? But they are going to be checking everything. Salvage logs, transmission records, operational efficiency.
Oh, great.
You'll be fine, Kai. It's not a performance review.
Lou's right. Now, let's just try and keep our heads down and weather this storm together. See y'all in the yard. Weaver out.
Hey, don't worry. This is a closed channel. There won't be a log. Well, looks like things might get a bit difficult around here. They're gonna try to make our lives hell. Don't worry. Just having access to the Union News Group doesn't make you a full-fledged member. Besides, no one from corporate has access. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous. If anything happens, I'll make sure nothing comes down on you. Lou out.
Well, that was Act 1. Alright, let's see. New hab poster, some other stuff. We now have access to the Javelin tanker, small. Okay, so the Javelin's different from the one that I'm used to. So this is gonna be... Yeah. Or am I used to the Javelin, so I'm just used to a different type of Javelin. Well, one way or another. Ouch. Money. Alright, equipment room. Workstation. Equipment. Alright, so shit's not actually as broken as I thought it would be. Heat capacity. Replace the laser cutter's gain medium. Dust particles and other microscopic debris or defects can cause minute blooming. Built up to... That's heat capacity, though. Tether lifetime, which is actually pretty good. But I think we want the charged push. Even if it might get me killed. Do I want tether lifetime? Yeah, if I gotta move something big, the longer lifetime is gonna be super worthwhile. Sometimes unions aren't always a good thing. The thing is, those are usually kind of an exception, and like, I've been in a situation where there are downsides to the union. I worked for UPS for a little while. Well, there's a tanker javelin. Might as well grab it. I like it that it says new ship rank 7. It marks it so I can find it. When I worked for UPS, not USPS, there was one unionized employee that was absolute dog shit. And because, you know, she was part of the union, she couldn't exactly get... Oh, it is the javelin. I'm used to these.
Morning, folks. How y'all holding up? I've had a question. What? Hello? You're... I can't hear you, Kaido.
Kai, try switching to another frequency and then back again.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Hey, okay. I have a question. What's this administrator gonna do?
They're being countered. Waste our time with productivity reports.
Oh, they've come here before?
Sure, loads of times. Profits drop, they send someone. Accidents go up, they send someone. Sometimes they just send someone to find out if they need to send someone.
They ain't a big deal, Kai.
You heard right, Paulson. I guess they're just snooping around for union stuff. Right?
Yeah. Gonna be here a week, tops. These types have the attention span of a gopher. They'll move on pretty quick.
What's a gopher?
Quiet. Boy, you better come visit sometime on Mars when you're done here.
One day, we'll all go see them gophers and whatnot. Keep that front of mind, and don't fret none. Carry on now. Weaver out.
Tether supplies are dropping.
Oh yeah, I really do have to just rebuy tethers on a mission-to-mission basis. Alright. Anyway, so this one lady wouldn't get, pretty much could not get fired, and she was kind of your classic example of would throw packages out of the truck rather than going to walk. And I think, some of the other drivers were absolutely building a bit of a case against her. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Have a nice day.
buy all of those. Money has no object, weirdly enough, in this game. But yeah, so she was a bad egg, but ultimately the union itself was super valuable. I was talking specifically to my driver and then a FedEx employee, because we were all eating lunch together at one point. And it sounded like the FedEx employees mostly only got treated well because they were in direct competition with UPS, and FedEx pretty much had to give them swank union benefits, otherwise everybody would have just gone off to work for UPS for the most part. But you know, they got really good overtime, great vacation packages, decent job security, and some other ones. It isn't to say, once again, that there aren't bad unions here and there. Obviously, that's quite true. But I think that that's kind of inevitable with a lot of human organizations, that generally the greedy and the powerful will seek power and abuse it to their own ends, and that's almost always like just the thing that happens. Is this kind of its own thing? I think so.
Salvage deposit secured. Credits awarded.
But on the flip side, as far as humanity goes, we kind of need some level of, like, workers' unions and whatnot, because otherwise you end up with, you know, Amazon, you know, locking the doors during a tornado and not letting anybody leave. Oh, this ain't gonna work. Gotta pop that pylon off. Gotta figure out in here. And you can't just rely on, you know, whoever's on top to just look out for the little guy. It does happen. You know, there are good bosses all over the place who will actually treat their employees well and, you know, give them good pensions and whatnot. But capitalism likes to self-select for ruthlessness. Oh, interesting. Oh. Well, this sucks. The alternative to unions are company towns. It's not always just company towns. There's a lot of different kind of ways it can go. Yeah, I needed that door panel there. I didn't realize I had oxygen was finally a thing. I guess I should have paid attention to the hazard information. At least it tells me... let's see. At least it tells me that there's danger. I don't see any other airlocks. And then this one's not pressurized. Well, time for some explosive decompression. I'm just gonna stay very far away from this one. This could go bad. Worked out. Alright.
Credits awarded.
Activate airlock controls. Let's just do that one.
Airlock depressurizing.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay.
Airlock pressurizing.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I've had it go far, far worse. I've had it literally fly off on me. The wall terminal. I don't know how to get the oxygen out of here. I might not be able to. These all secured? I think they are. Do it from over here. Oh, that was the atmospheric regulator. Are we still... We are still pressurized. Alright, hit the other door. Worse things have happened. I don't know how I missed this, but whatever. It's fine. Alright, no more oxygen. So that's easy enough.
Salvage deposit accepted.
No, I don't know.
Transferred.
I think everybody kind of can have stories on this back and forth, but I still feel like you never want to just put all of the power in the hands of the upper management, because you almost always end up with situations like, you know, Blizzard or Amazon or whatever, where yeah, they might actually take care of a select few amount of people that they see as kind of the in-group or valuable. Usually it's upper management. I know a lot of programmers have been, are generally treated well at a number of companies just because their skills are so valuable and there's so much demand for what they need.
Welcome to Vindatron 9000.
Whereas, like, conversely, oh, what's a good example? Well, I mean, easiest one I can think of is always Walmart. Walmart and, like, McDonald's and a couple others. Long time ago, compressor is slightly damaged, whatever. Long time ago, I don't even know how long ago, I remember just kind of reading articles on the internet, as you do, and one of them was talking about how, like, Walmart employees, for example, were almost all universally on, like, food stamps or other social welfare systems, and it was just because Walmart paid so little that they needed, you know, social support systems to be able to feed themselves and, you know, not just starve to death. I always thought that was particularly kind of messed up on a societal level, but also a business level, that you can have this giant mega corporation that turns hella profits and their employees have to be on social supports to actually, you know, be able to live. And these aren't these aren't like high schoolers just working a summer job. Like, I know that's usually the excuse that gets bandied around, that it's like, well, fast food is not supposed to be like a skilled job or anything like that. You know, it's supposed to be for like kids during the summer, and it's like, yeah, but then why are...
Don't forget that your equipment durability doesn't take care of itself. If your gear's acting up on you, best practice is to patch it up in the hab. Your tools should be working for you, not the other way around.
And like, I don't know. I think I've always been just slightly mad that we as a society have to subsidize large companies that just don't feel like paying, you know, a fair wage instead. And so, like, obviously to some degree government regulation should handle that kind of thing rather than a union, but it's super clear that, like, that's never gonna happen. Let's see if I can just pop this ring off. Half the issue is local bureaucrats. It's true, but the counterpoint to that is a lot of local bureaucrats are elected often with hefty local business support, or, you know, corporate support or whatever. My town had a serious issue with an incumbent for a very, very long time. The dude pretty much didn't care about the town, but had just been the state representative for ages. And I don't want to say that he was necessarily corrupt, but it was very clear that he was more interested in business interests than actually representing the town in the slightest. And eventually, like, me, a couple friends, ended up... I mean, it's not like we actually had that much influence, but we had, like, a grassroots candidate who actually lived in the town and wasn't, you know, just rich and out of touch, I guess. And so he ended up running for office, and pretty much everybody from my year in school was, like, going door to door for him, trying to get people to vote for him instead. And it ended up working, and I don't actually know how much it affected, but it was kind of one of those where one of the big issues was this guy had a lot of money, just due to, you know, being a state rep for so long, and ties to money and businesses and whatnot. And, like, that's really hard to fight against. And a lot of these politicians oftentimes will prioritize, you know, people that help them get reelected, which almost always is, you know, business interests who throw X amount of dollars at re-election campaigns and whatnot. I know in the US we just had a Supreme Court decision saying that that you don't even, like, need to... I forget what it was, but it was, you know, more kind of dodgy campaign funding. I should probably not let this get set on fire further. Is this separate? Yes, it is. Perfect. Yeah. And the government is frequently paid by big businesses. Yep. Well, maybe less so the government, more so the people running the government. It's an exclusive club, and most of us aren't in it. And so I know it's easy to just blame immediately, like, local politicians instead of businesses, but they're often all friends. I support Follow the Money, the Follow the Money website. Tells me how dodgy my politicians are. Yeah, stuff like that needs to be a little bit more common knowledge. Primaries are important, too. I know a lot of people tend to be like, well, you know, what's the point of being politically active if these people just keep getting elected? And the answer is, well, generally because people don't primary their corrupt representatives and don't actually participate in the political, participate politically at all. And if they do, it's only for, like, the presidential election, because so many people see that as the most important one. Obviously, this is American politics. I can't talk about how it works in other countries. But the disengagement is part of the reason why so much power concentrates so high, is because most of us that could do something about it don't. And then get mad when it's kind of too late. Can I pull this out? I kind of can. Didn't know you stream at these hours. I usually don't, but my family are currently fixing up a bike for Shell to potentially use, and that's going to take a while. And so I figured I'd stream early, and then maybe we go on a bike ride later. Maybe. Yeah, I wasn't very good about participating in local politics. Even after this singular election, I kind of got complacent and stopped paying attention because I was busy. And right now I'm just not registered to vote because Massachusetts has kind of strict voting laws, which is frustrating. I have to have, like,
Your oxygen reserves are dropping below
proof that I live here and a bunch of other things. Maybe it's easier than I make it out to be. I'll be registered to vote when it actually matters.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
But, you know, that's more of an exception due to the fact that I'm
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
vaguely, not quite couch surfing at my parents' place. Wow, we really kind of caused this thing to just unfold, didn't we? I like javelins. They make way more sense. They get their own fiddly traps, but it's not nearly as problematic as the other one. Let's see. Find politics depressing. Never feel good about voting and elections. The problem is, it's depressing because...
Deposit accepted for processing.
It's depressing because mediocre people win. And mediocre people win because people that actually possibly care one way or another don't vote. And it's like, it sucks to always vote for the lesser evil presented, which seems to be, you know, a very common aspect of politics. But every once in a while you get, like, an actual banger of a candidate or you know, or a senator or representative or whatever. And, like, those are the ones that are worth it. You want to keep kind of self-selecting for those, you know, help canvass, primary out the shitty people, and so on and so forth. It's a never-ending thing, and it's exhausting, but at the same time, you know, if you don't, that's how the crappy people always end up in office. And they still do, but you can't just say, like, wash your hands of it. Because, you know, it's easy to say I'm not involved, or it's too depressing, or whatnot. But that kind of mentality ends up just letting these shitty people win over and over and over again. Because, you know, if you're not out there trying to help society select the good ones, then almost inevitably you're going to end up with society selecting the bad ones. It's like pop music, corporatized and soulless. I mean, once again, you get what you vote for. And so if people aren't primarying, yeah, of course you're going to end up with the soulless candidates that you want nothing to do with generally. But if people were far more active in, like, primaries and local politics and whatever, I don't just mean, like, voting during primaries and voting for, you know, the big names. I mean, like, paying attention to who's your local state representative, who's the mayor of your town, who's the mayor, who's on your local council. Because those are the people that end up slowly gravitating towards higher and higher positions. And sometimes for good, sometimes not for good. But so if you have a bunch of shitty people on a local level, and those are the ones gaining power and influence and, you know, working their way up to state level, then those are going to be the people that are probably on the ballot eventually. And, well, you could have stopped them early, collectively, not on an individual level. Can I remove this? I can, but I think it's still meant for the processor anyway.
Other supplies are low.
Oh. Those are completely separate things. Alright. Yeah, school board. Very important, especially nowadays. Because school boards are often the ones admittedly nowadays that are currently trying to get like books banned and some other stuff that you really don't want society to be doing generally. But a lot of people skip school board elections because, well, maybe I'm not in school anymore, or like, you know, why does it matter? But that's, let's see. Right, running out of tethers. Might as well get more oxygen while I'm here. Expensive enough. Oh, but yeah, your school system actually matters a lot in terms of what your town ends up being. If your school system sucks, or if your school board sucks, you don't actually get a lot of good people, question mark? You know, most families and parents tend to be extra picky about what school system they bring their kids to unless they don't have a choice. And so, if your town selects, you know, kind of mediocre people for the school board, you're gonna end up attracting mediocre people. As far as, you know, parents trying to bring their kids in for an education and some other stuff. I don't know, it's endless, and it's kind of one of those where it's like, it's exhausting, and I totally understand why people wish they could be disconnected from this process, because it's not fun. And especially after the last X number of years, you know, it's easy to feel discouraged or just outright burnt out. But on the flip side, it's like the consequences for not are so much worse. Okay, now is there anything in this one? Yep. Corrupt school board leads to corrupt people. I mean, it's not even just that. What's a good example? Well, okay, not exactly school board or anything, but when I was in elementary school, I guess this happened a couple of times. But when I was in elementary school, I went to this like very, very small church run out of the auditorium in the high school. I don't entirely know, you know, why they didn't have a larger position. Maybe just, you know, maybe not national support, or who knows. I don't know how new churches get founded. But we were kind of between churches for a little while, and we found this one that was within convenient walking distance or biking distance. And that's kind of important to my family because driving in a car is not the most fun thing ever. It can be, but it's not great. Let's see. But the, you know, first it started as this kind of charming, happy congregation, but after a certain point, the pastor started getting kind of, I don't want to say power mad, but, you know, he kicked all the kids off of the chorus, the children's chorus, choir, there we go. Just so his kids would be the ones in the choir, and only them. And we left. And I think we kind of followed up on it a couple of years later, and it sounded like half of the congregation had just slowly disappeared. Due to the fact that this guy was kind of using his position to lord over people, rather than actually act as a particularly good steward of the community. And, you know, I always wonder if it would have been more better, question mark, if people had actually said, like, this is not okay. And actually said something about it. What is it? Untended gardens attract weeds? I've literally got a website open on my phone with something to that extent of that phrase. And I think that remains true of so many things. I mean, think of how many Twitch channels, even. How many of them are run by, like, complete amoral bastards? And how many people kind of celebrate that because I guess it's normalized? There is, like, no way for me to separate this out, right? You know, that's a pain. Guess we'll just remove it bit by bit. Or how many companies often are run by people that are, you know, kind of your Weinsteins or your... I mean, even your Musks-ish? I know there's a lot of people that celebrate Musk, but I think the man is suspicious as hell. Oh, I can actually just grab these. There we go. Cult of personality and whatnot, but also just kind of like the more money you have, the more control you have, the more you tend to kind of just keep it up. It's very rare that people will cede power to somebody else, just out of kind of human nature, I guess. Okay, we have a battery pack here. Let's see. Suspicious beyond the fact that his family made money from blood diamonds. I'm pretty sure it was emeralds, and I think he didn't own the whole diamond mine. I think it was shares. But even then, like... the man earned nothing. He just bought his way into where he is. And that's not the kind of person that you want running a cult of personality. Kind of same thing with, like, Steve Jobs. Dude was always kind of a scumbag and treated his, like, starting business partners horribly. But, you know, unless you actually paid attention to the history of Apple, most people probably don't know the name of, like, Steve Wozniak, for example.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And that's always a bit of a shame because Wozniak is responsible for far more of Apple's initial success than Steve Jobs, save for maybe some business decisions. But because Steve Jobs was the better businessman, everybody remembers him and lionizes him. I don't think you want anyone running a cult of personality on principle. It's true. I think anybody that actively tries to cultivate that level of influence is usually incredibly suspicious.
Transferring credits.
I say this as somebody who, you know, actively works as a social media influencer. You know.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are low.
That I find my chosen career really does self-select for a lot of good people, but there are some really bad eggs that just like explode onto the YouTube scene, and it's really frustrating seeing them, you know, rise to prominence so aggressively and then fall meteorically. Okay. Is this thing... No, this clamp is still locked on. So I want to take a look at this. There are no cut points, and this whole damn thing goes into the furnace. But that's a giant pain, and I'm pretty... Well, I might be able to get it separated. Oh, but no. Let's pop these out, if I can. Nope. Oh. Oh, that sucks. I was hoping there'd be a better disconnection point in there, but there's like a little nib. Just the tiniest of little nibs that it's hooked up through. Oh, that's rough. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna cut right here. Since all this is meant for the furnace anyway, doing any damage to these costs me nothing. There we go. I just have to be incredibly careful not to hit anything meant for the processor. Or, you know, that happens. Shit, that's bright. Okay. It's fine. Yeah, these are cheap enough. I can just pop them off. Or is this separate now? No, it's not. It's almost separate. I think if it's this one. Okay. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Ah, damn it. Because I cut it earlier, it is also meant for the furnace. Oh, data drive. First time.
Raw material deposited.
There we go. Speaking of... Okay, what's the comment? Speaking of corruption, bringing up a bit of levity. Anyone see the Morbin Time meme? Which is me, or is it super astroturfed? I can't tell. So, I'll be honest. I think it might be. But I think it started organically. And I think that's generally true of quite a number of these. That you have somebody have like a hilarious meme idea. They start sharing it around a little bit, and then a number of people latch onto it, and then it quickly gets echoed, possibly by astroturfing, if that makes sense. And I think this is generally true of quite a lot of these campaigns, that it might have started with an original uncorrupted idea, but it quickly becomes kind of a viral marketing scheme that, you know, X or Y company will utilize. Easiest example I can think of would be like KFC really starting to push being nerdy. KFC and Arby's, I guess. So like KFC had their weird gaming computer thing. And also like a tabletop role-playing game and a couple others. And like people get really into that stuff because it feels very human, which a lot of corporate brands don't. And so some of these might have actually just been legitimate jokes at the beginning. Or, you know, kind of legitimate funsy ideas that were organic and wholesome and whatever. But in this case, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony didn't... I think it's Sony. If Sony didn't see, like... see the success of the meme starting to go. And they said... Well, let's just echo this hard, because I'm sure they've got plenty of kind of... I don't think Sony itself has a ton of sock puppets, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have, you know, social media groups that they hire out that will echo things aggressively, if that makes sense. Pod clamps. Oh, I see. I was wondering what I was cutting off here. I don't know how much these are worth. A lot, actually. Holy shit. Due diligence is important. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pop off all of these. Let's see, isn't KFC ES that's very memey? I'm not sure about other countries. I don't think every country is that memey. I know the American one is incredibly memey. I don't know about the... I assume ES is Spain? Oops. But I think very much KFC recognized the potential of the appearance of being... kind of trendy and charming.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And have just been cultivating that image as kind of like an overall brand thing for a while. And I think it works to some degree. You know, even on my level, I don't eat fast food. But there is always kind of that mental math, I guess would be the way I'd put it, of like, okay, if I already eat fast food, where would I eat? Well, I don't like McDonald's for years and years of reasons, and countless little issues that they've been responsible for. So McDonald's is right out. Burger King, I don't know, I think I'm just kind of ambivalent to Burger King at this point. You know, they don't really factor in. Whereas like KFC and Arby's, because they've put out things that I personally have some base level of like connection to, you know, just the fact that they made a kind of D&D module. There's kind of that like, well, why not them, seeing as they resonate more with me as a person than all of these other big brands. And I have to remind myself that much of that is entirely artificial and driven by incredibly clever marketing.
Salvage deposited. Applying
And
credit to account.
I don't know. It's not like I really go out for fast food for any reason, but yeah, the psychological marketing tactics are actually effective. I know it's not good, and I know I'm being manipulated, but kind of on a baseline level, biological programming makes me feel appreciated, and therefore I feel like reciprocating, I guess, even though it's purely artificial and entirely kind of this clinical, analytics-driven thing.
Salvage deposit confirmed. Applying credit.
But my real answer is I just don't eat out, and if I do, I usually buy local, just because fast food has kind of been there, done that. Okay, so is this all separate? It is. So I just have to slide this out. I don't remember tethers having this length before. Can this game be played multiplayer? Seems like a lot for one person. Nope, it's single player, which is a damn shame. I honestly hope they make a sequel someday. With mod support and multiplayer support from the start. Or at least, you know, built into the game, or with the intention of adding them along the way. I don't know. I think this game was an accident, where I don't think the developers quite intended it to be this popular, and have you know, done a fine job for the most part. It's definitely a little content thin, but it feels like there's an amount of this that is kind of lost potential because it probably wasn't in the original scope of the game.
Object processed. Transferring credits.
Oh, did I not get it? There we go. Is my suit damaged? Maybe? I don't actually know what the red markers stand for. Yeah, like Subnautica, it was meant to be a tech demo that people just fell in love with. Yup. Okay. Looks like we want to separate this out again. This time, I'm going to cut a little further out. So I don't accidentally cut the whole panel. There we go. Okay, is this its own thing? Yep, looks like it's loose. Perfect. There we go. I really like salvaging the javelins. It's relatively quick, all things considered.
Material accepted. Credits transferred.
And mainly minimal points for failure, up until we start messing with the big fuel tank ones, at which point, oh boy.
Salvage goal cleared. Rewards allocated.
There we go. Pap? I think that's gonna go in. Let's make sure it does. Okay, bottle. Why can I grab this bottle, but there's like half that random junk? It would just float. That I could do nothing with. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oops. Before that battery pack just sails off into oblivion. There we go. Just about what the biggest ships are. This is near the biggest, but there is one that is a lot bigger that is like a giant cargo hauler. I think we'll be unlocking them kind of soon, maybe.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Okay, another table. There we go. Oh, that's a full-on fuel pipe. Okay, so I might want to stop before I do too much more here. Because if there's a fuel pipe and a furnace, we should probably clear everything else out.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
No, no. Don't hit me in the face, damn it. I give up. Let's see, once again, I play a game that Wanderbots is showing off why are bullet heavens so good. They're incredibly casual experiences. It's everything I like about a roguelike without any of the, I don't want to say without any of the disappointment. Ow.
Helmet damage detected. Salvage acceptable. Credit applied.
That hurt a bit. Oh well. Oxygen, suit patch. And I'm not terribly injured, so I don't need to worry about it. Tethers? Nah, I don't know. Okay. So do we have anything else that I'm missing here? Yeah, we've got a hatch on top of this one.
Salvage deposit registered.
Okay.
Account credited.
Doesn't look like there's really anything on the bottom. Alright, so let's pop the thrusters off. It blows my mind that this sucker, this giant freaking thing. Huh. There we go. There we go. You know what? I'm just going to use a tether. It's an awkward shot. And I don't want to deal with it from this angle. There we go. Alright, so we pretty much opened this up. I'll probably have to go for another round of tethers, but that's okay.
Applying credit.
Cut through this real quick. Yeah, it's much easier. I can't... Okay, good. I can't cut this stuff. At least yet. But yeah, Vampire Survivors keeps delivering. I have my most successful build to date tonight. With two mostly useless items. Weapons? Yeah. I don't know. I like the quick play nature of them. They don't demand much. They're generally pleasant to play. And you can kind of just vibe with them. Whereas, like, conversely, I love Revita and Risk of Rain and a couple of these other, like, mega roguelikes that everybody loves. Me included. But there's definitely kind of a feeling of stress playing them. You know, you can't just kind of zone. You have to focus. And so Bullet Heavens have kind of concentrated a lot of things that I, and I'm assuming most other people, enjoy about roguelikes, but without a whole lot of the mediocre bits. Okay. Panel, 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 panel. Cut. So here's the problem. I don't really want to pop this out until I've cleared some things. I'm all rotated wrong. It's... I guess just start removing some of these and we'll just see what I can do with it. Okay. There we go. So what can I do with this? I could use tethers, but I've only got 12 left, and I might be able to make it by without. Let's see. The draw of Vampire Survivors isn't even the gameplay or the price, it's the ongoing updates and dev support. I think so. I don't necessarily factor those in the same way as I think some people do. I think for me, so many indie games have that as a major selling point that is kind of difficult to say. I do agree that it getting a lot of updates constantly is an attractive prospect because it means that it's constantly evolving and becoming more interesting. And so like you can come back on a week by week basis. Yeah, this one's heavy. You can come back every week or 2 weeks or something and something changes. There's a new update, there's a new set of evolutions, there's a new level, a new character. And that's actually really attractive just because it's easy to kind of want to try the new thing and mess around with that. I mean, this game has a bit of that. You know, me experimenting with these new ships feels really good because this was not here the last time I played. Wonder if you played Icarus. I have a video for that recorded, and will be going out on YouTube at some point soonish. But yeah, Icarus is actually kind of a decent example of game that gets lots of updates. When it launched a couple months ago, it was not in a good spot. But now it's just received ridiculous amounts of updates in such a way. Oh, I guess this aluminum paddle is always meant for the furnace. Good to know. But yeah, it's been getting constant updates in such a way that it... I can see why people like it now. I don't know. It's just nice to see a open world survival crafting game that gets that amount of support. I know, like, there's a couple others that have also gotten similar support. Thinking like Raft and Don't Starve and whatever.
Salvage registered. Transferring credits.
There we go. There we go. It's like my grappling hook's gonna need a fix sooner than later. Okay, so how is this connected? Is it? I don't think this is. I might be able to just pull this out at this point. Everything is just falling apart at this point. Yeah, talking about Raft, the third chapter is almost out. Ooh.
Warning. Oxygen reserves low. LYNX recommend.
Processor deposit accepted. Credits awarded.
Oxygen level.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
There we go. Yeah, I like Raft. Oops, there we go. I'm very much looking forward to playing more of that if it's getting another big update soon. I don't know if I'm going to play through the entirety of it. Oh, there's an air filter in there. Wow, that was expensive.
Credits assigned.
Must have been on the inside and I missed it. Oh well. I made... Did I make no mistakes? Oh no, I did make the one mistake of not depressurizing the whole thing. But otherwise, this went off without a hitch.
Salvage deposit registered. Account
We have a lot of leeway. Okay. Are these all separate? I think they are. I got a lot of leeway for minor waste here. Yeah, I really want to start recording some more things with Shell. She's been kind of busy doing life things. You know, today it's bikes, and then it's going to be house hunting and some other stuff. But I think I could probably pull her away for Raft. I'd like to pull her away for Sunhaven. Sunhaven yesterday was great. And I really want to play that multiplayer with people. I gotta decide how I'm gonna handle content like series and whatnot. Just because YouTube's been kind of...
All salvage goals complete. All rewards allocated.
Done with that. We're good. And yeah, I can just squander these tethers. Tethers are cheap. Go here. But YouTube kind of has this baseline, I don't know, distaste for series at this point. And it's always a bit of a shame for me. House hunting seems like it could be an all-consuming thing, especially in the current market. Yeah, the biggest issue for a while, and still kind of is trying to decide where we want to go. But I think I know, unless major problems show up and kind of ruin my day. Okay, got that. I guess I should have made sure everything went in, but whatever. It's the markers that matter, not the money at the moment.